Let me open this up too. Hold on. Welcome. There we go. Fun. More fun in Dad's workshop. Smile, smile. Everybody welcome. Put on a smiley face. What I'm going to do, hey everybody. Baby kisses, welcome. Thank you for being here. Good morning. I did read all your comments while we were gone. I appreciate all that interaction. I know you probably, hopefully you can hear me. I do have a mic for now, at least I think. It may run out soon. But welcome. I don't know how big my last box was, but I'm intending to make them small. I'm going to make a box for a member or a subscriber or anyone. I'm going to do kind of like I'm going to do a box for a spin, and then I'll do a box for a super chat, right? We'll do both. I do have to generate income. Christmas is coming. YouTube money is not paying the bills, just being honest. I'm about to have to go do some gig work, so it's going to be a little more aggressive. Good. I'm glad it sounds good. Thank you, baby kisses. So we're going to do, it's got to be, since the walls are kind of thick, I'm thinking it's got to be, I did the last one probably, God, I can't even read that number. Even with my reading glasses on, it's hard. This needs to be sharpened too. Craig, welcome. Good morning from out there in the, well, to you it's afternoon, but welcome. Craig Posh from the UK. Valued member too. Valued member. We're going to do a dovetail box here, single dovetail. Going to keep it simple. We're going to hand cut everything. We're going to cut the wood by hand on the edges. So a lot of people would machine the wood with circular saws or table saw. We're going to do everything by hand on this box, except for maybe sanding. And we may even do the sanding by hand. 4 inches there. I think 4 should leave. These are really 7/8 of an inch. They're not even an inch. When I do two dovetails on here, I usually come in a half an inch from each side. And that means that there's 7/8. I've done the math on this before and it worked out. Mike, what's up, man? Mike checked on me this weekend. He was a little worried. Yep, we're fine. Appreciate you, Mike. A lot of people check on me, and I appreciate that, man. I do think y'all like family. It's been tough a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. I'm gonna have to run out and do gig work today. I can't sit here and pretend that the YouTube channel is gonna make me enough to, pay my bills. So we're gonna do as much fun stuff as we can on here. I'm gonna keep this channel going. I'm not gonna quit, but I do have obligations, so I gotta. I know it's so just people who are monetizing too. Like if they're just monetizing, when they find out that somebody, ouch, that really hurt. Somebody monetized is having to work other jobs. They're like, oh, what did I get myself into? Yep, that was the way I was too. When I found out people I was watching on YouTube were going to their jobs at Food Line, I was like, Dad, what happened? Yeah, and I'm on the other camera today, so the quality is probably not as awesome, and I realize that. We're gonna lay out these marks and try to leave a little. Oh, by the way, my wood bender, my steam bender is out of service, so I'm gonna have to get a new steamer. Can y'all see all that? Mike said he's eating corn fritters this morning. Yeah, money's tight. Money's tight. It's not a great line I made at first. Hopefully I can follow that second line there. These cuts got to be real straight and real accurate, otherwise these dovetails look bad. Single dovetail, there used to be a challenge to do a single dovetail in 5 minutes, like cut one dovetail and one pin in 5 minutes. Wonder if you can hear me now. I sound loud. Turn this fan off because I don't need it. Yeah, what I was saying was they called that slosh in the Civil War. The Confederate guys ate that. That was their main staple food. Cornmeal mixed with water and thrown into bacon grease, which bacon or pork was their main protein, whereas the Union Army's main protein was beef. Main carbohydrate was wheat. The Confederate Army's main meat was pork, and their main carbohydrate was corn. Two very different dietary systems. Can y'all hear me? Slosh. Yep. Sydney, what was that Southern historian from? He was a Civil War historian. He's long passed away now. Real interesting guy. He's the one that, I think that was the Ken Burns documentary where he talks about slosh, which is just fried cornbread is what it is. If you ever had cornbread, essentially without the good stuff in it, I guess. No raisin, there's no leavening, so no, what do you call it? Baking soda or any of that stuff, just straight cornmeal and water. Let's do these cuts from by hand. I mean, that's what people are here for. People come to Dad's workshop for stuff by hand, so let's do it. Let's do stuff by hand and see how it comes out. The last box I made for Wes, because he got that question right on my giveaway, and he was quick on that too, very quick, on my post. So that's why if you saw his video, it's a pretty popular video. He has 60 or 70 likes on it. I wasn't super proud of it, but I'm a critic of my own work. So, but actually, I really liked the box. If I'm being honest, personally, I did. So this is going to be about trying to keep my saw just real relaxed with the saw. If you get tense with it too. I'm not pushing any particular way. I don't want to lean over it too long either because I might change my saw angle. Now it's counterintuitive as you start to, like, I'm starting to see myself kind of come off to the right of the line. It's like you kind of push the saw left a little bit, tilt it down if you want to reinvent that line. We'll see if it works as I'm in practice as much as theory. My guideline on the back has me a little bit like this. So I'm trying to make sure that I got, let's try this. Getting a little bit far afield there for my tastes. I'm really upset with that. I don't like that far off. Y'all can probably see it. I'm slightly to the right of that line. Woodchucker, welcome. Oh, Craig Posh out. See you later, Craig. I know it's the evening for you. Right back to work. Catch y'all soon. Yeah, take care, buddy. I'm glad you came in. Shout out honored member Craig Posh from the UK. Realize it's the evening time there. Trying to get back on this line right here, Woodchucker. Now, what the book tells you to do is tilt the saw here, but I got to get it back too. All right, but see, I'm off the line right there, and I don't love that. Guess I could probably file it down a little, but I'm just not. I'm not happy about that at all. Let me see if I can come. This is very upsetting to me. Of course, I'm out of practice. Once you don't use it, you lose it. That's not good at all, actually. It started well. Probably need to put like the square up against it. That's too. Tolerance is not great when you have dovetails for making mistakes like that, but we'll figure it out. Let me take this piece and put it up here. It's very hard. It's Baby Kisses says she can't saw a straight line with a handsaw to save her life. You know, I better get better at it real quick because I'm about to cut dovetails, and those lines, they don't do well when they're not straight. Hope y'all just got a butt shot right there. Everybody just got straight up butt shot. I don't want these edges on here. We're gonna do a single dovetail. I did watch a Bearded Viking video the other day where he, gentleman and a scholar, by the way, Bearded Viking, shout out. He cuts these spline, 90-degree spline, miter spline joints. It's one of his newer videos. It was impressive. I liked it, but you got to make the whole 90-degree spline jig. Did make me think about doing spline joints though by hand. You like that? Problem here with YouTube is, man, you go away for a couple days and they don't send alerts to nobody, man. I was getting already by the time I came back, I was getting like 0 views. You have to build this momentum, and then where does it take you? Like, am I gaining income from this? I said this the other day. I'm gonna have to keep preaching this to everyone who's about to get monetized. On my live stream the other day, I got, you know, not recently, but in September, the best month I've ever had on YouTube, September of 2025. I got now I'm down 10 viewers. Do I have no internet signal? I must not be a monetized YouTuber. But here it is. YouTube paid me 1 penny per 1,000 views. So I got 80 cents for those 80,000 views. More people came to my live stream than went to the Meadowlands for the last Giants game. But I got 1 penny per 1,000 views. So, you know, they want to keep paying people like that. They're going to lose their live streaming service. And I'm not monetized on TikTok, so I can't just be like F you and throw them the middle finger and go to TikTok. They will let me stream on TikTok, but I just don't, you know, I don't have the same access here. It's not the same audience. I have to change my whole vibe. I really like YouTube's system, but the way that the views are kind of thrown out doesn't seem, whatever it is that I do doesn't seem to work for it, you know. We in here. Oh, Wes, what's up, man? Was there something on there I didn't miss? Hey, welcome everybody. Yeah, I kind of made a bad cut on this first piece of ash that I'm going to make this little box for a giveaway for.
Just so you know.
Oh, okay.
You need anything?
Not that I know of. Maybe if you get it, but you're busy.
Your phone?
What? Oh, my phone's charging though.
I know. You want me to charge your microphones for you?
Yeah, if you could, but you don't have to do any of that. Good grief, man. Wondered what that's related. Something I said? Oh, one penny for 8. Yeah. Yeah, and I know it's not different for a lot of people here. They have a great live stream. They look at the numbers. I've heard Pilato say the same thing. Not to throw him under the bus, but yeah, you know, he knows it's true. A lot of us know it's true. It's a dirty little secret that a lot of people don't want to say anything about, that YouTube moves the goalpost when you do really well on a live stream. All that happens is you build community, and so that might help you. It may not, but it doesn't. As far as getting paid, no one gets paid for those live streams. The same this 80,000 views on a long form video might, well, now it might not even pay you that much, but the more views you get, the more they drop down the RPM, it seems like, because it benefits them. They make more money off less. It's very simple. Very simple math. They pay you less, they make more. You know, you like to think that these companies have some ethic to them, but they don't. It's just pure, dare I say it, use the C word, not chaos, the one that starts with a C-A-P-T. All right, so we're doing 4 inches on each side. I'm gonna do a single dovetail boxes similar to the one that I made for Wes. Check out that video where it's on Wes's channel where he unboxes that. I'm also gonna put a platform on one side, something I wanted to do on the last one. This may not be, I might have to do like a 6-inch side on here. Like his, I would have liked to be a little bigger, to hold a couple bars of soap. So what I'm gonna do is I'll probably extend this and make this will be the short side down here. And I'll make this one down here 6 inches so I can fit maybe an extra bar of soap or something in there. I'm gonna put a little platform in there so that there's, you can display 2 nice pieces, like if you get fancy soap. Sometimes people buy fancy soap as just display. So you just use the soap as a decoration for the most part anyway. It's just to show, just to have something fancy when they go into the bathroom. Hey, Tom, how are you, bud? Welcome, Tom. So you have your little I put a little platform in the bottom and you can stick 2 bars of soap in there, and then I'll make the same thing that I made for Wes the other day, which was the little soap holder, which I haven't heard whether it worked out yet. My concern about that soap holder is that the glue joints give out, but I put lots of pressure on it when I was gluing it up. And I use Tight Bond 2, which is water resistant.
If I had access to Titebond 3, I would get it. I think though that Lowe's stopped selling Titebond 3. I think I would probably have to order it online. I usually get my glue in the gallons. But Titebond 3 completely waterproof. That's what I use if I make like a charcuterie board or a cutting board or a butcher block type thing. All right, we're working on our hand cuts today though. Let's extend this 2 more inches and get the one side to be 6 inches total, because 7/8 of an inch is going to be taken up by the wall. I want to say thank you to Wes and Mike also for helping me splice the wires on my planer. It had been many years since that had been done, and obviously it wasn't done exactly correctly before because it shorted. So staggering the wires, great thing, man. I learn a new thing every day. We staggered them. It looks pretty solid. I even took some stress when I was doing the last planing job. But the planing is probably going to come to a slow halt here. We're going to have to, I have to make a new jig or fix my jig here. This needs some new legs on it. This leveling jig. It took some stress, I think, when I used it to level that stump over there. I actually might auction off that stump table too. We have to figure out what I'm gonna do with that. One of my favorite items that I made in here. Actually, one of the audience's favorite items too. Sunstep sent me a message the other day where he had a load. When I say a load, I mean he had a like lifetime money's worth of black walnut dropped in his front yard. Huge lengths of logs, and he put it in his wood storage. Shout out to Sunstep. I know he's at the job right now. He can't be doing YouTube at all. But Sunstep got this black walnut now, which I initially, when I first eyeballed it, I always doubt it's walnut, and I thought it might have been red oak. And nah, it's walnut, and it's the old growth kind, so it's the kind that's going to be the best for doing woodwork. But you have to mill it, you know. Chicolery. All right, so we got a 6-inch length here. Hopefully we make a better cut on that. There's always the next cut to make up for the last one, I suppose. That last one wasn't great. And then when you see at the end, when I'm a little frustrated that my dovetails don't have perfect tight joints, it's usually because of this cut, not because of the dovetail cuts. Any cut that you make that's slightly off is gonna affect that dovetail joint, because everything's gonna be slightly out of alignment, right? I wanna be careful. I probably should put those 2 little guards on this so it doesn't mar up the wood. Sorry, I missed some time this week. Had to hang out with family, and I enjoyed my family time. Appreciate y'all coming back to see me again. Last time I did it slowly and I made more mistakes. Nope, I'm already doing it worse. I don't like that. Seems like it's coming to one side. I just want to make sure I get the cut started straight. It's just trying. I've never tried this before with a handsaw. It's got to be right up against it. It's not. It's not. My finger may be a better option. A little more to that side. Could be my saw. Could be the board's level, you know. but I'm not cutting exactly the way I want. Doesn't matter now. That's straighten it out anyway. This one's got to be filed down on that side too. Sorry, man. It's good to do this because it tunes in those senses, and this is it's definitely, if you don't use it, you lose it for sure. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. I am Calvin. You know, I just looked at a picture of myself the other day where I had a full-grown beard, and I know the audience would prefer that, so we're working on it. Lost about 60% of my audience in October that I had in September. Everything was down 60% for me. Big hit to the channel. And I think it was because my beard's gone. That's my philosophy. Amelia, welcome. Glad to have you here. We're very friendly here. Could have been because people didn't recognize me, you know. That can happen. I'm making a dovetailed box for a giveaway. This is ash wood. I'm gonna make the bottom with black walnut. I'm gonna make the bottom in. I might use plywood on the bottom, black walnut on the top. This is my little thin cabinet stock of black walnut. I'm gonna use on the for the lid. Yeah, I'm psyched too, Amelia. Glad you're here with us for the process. We will not make the entire thing today. We'll make some of the dovetails. I gotta basically after this go to work essentially. Haven't said that word in a long time. This I like to think of as my work, but it ain't paying the bills, guys. So gotta go to like one of those wage jobs, one of those things, or in this case, a gig job. I need to make a plug right now. Here we go. Bye, Caleb. See you later, buddy. That was a decent cut. Look. Oh, y'all can't look. I can't zoom in with the camera like this. Can I? Like I barely went off that line. That's not too bad for a hand cut. My other one, see, you better, see? Let me, look at that. Hey, everybody. Look at the wood that I just cut. Wow, what a hammer. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, huge shout out. Big shout out to Norman Hughes out there in Oklahoma. When I say that man is a genius, please watch his last video. Please watch Norm's last video. Everybody on here, if you haven't yet, that man is doing, watch him roll the shed over the telescope. Flex. That's what that is. Norm doesn't know what a flex is. We need to teach him that what he does in the beginning of that video is a straight flex. His shed rolls off of the telescope, bro. The shed moves, not the telescope. Did y'all watch this? Oh, she was a teacher? Yeah, was this Amelia? Yeah, I was a teacher for 17 years. Yeah, Amelia. So I definitely, you know, hopefully they're giving you good maternity leave and that you're enjoying your time with the baby. That's the most important. most important thing for you to connect with that baby. So I'm glad to have Amelia here, and glad you're spending some of your time at home with us. Big fan of the babies. I love the babies. So Norm made a video where it shows him roll the shed over the telescope. Yeah, and then if you haven't seen him flex, then the next flex is how big, hey Schmoke, how big the telescope is, and the lens that he puts on it is insane. The end of it. Then his photos of other galaxies and nebula are like competitive with the Hubble. He must have software that mitigates there's a name for this. There's, when you look through the atmosphere, it distorts the view of certain stars and systems. And when you zoom way in, it's like zooming in on your camera. You know, when you zoom in, it's hard to keep it straight. It moves more. It's the same thing with a telescope. So Norm must have a program or some sort of system on his telescope that he can actually see. He can mitigate that shaking and the distortion that the atmosphere causes. So shout out to Norm. Highly impressive stuff. Norm Hughes. Check out his channel. He is a member here. We love Norm. I'm glad you've seen it. Plywood said he's seen the video. I was just showed that video last night. Heather showed it to me. Blown away. I haven't been blown away by like something. Oh yeah, I definitely use the index finger. Yeah, that's a standard operating procedure for me. Doesn't always do everything I need it to do though. That last cut came out, and I didn't hesitate. Like, I didn't go slow at all. That was a speedier cut. Oh, but good morning to Schmoke. Good morning to everybody else in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in this great world that you are. Right now, we are gonna make this ash box out of these pieces of ash, and I have this stock still, and it's beautiful stock. So I need to make a couple more boxes. It's gonna be more like this once the dovetails are on. So I'm trying to size something I can fit 2 bars of soap in a little shelf that I can do for a giveaway, and then one for super chats. So psyched to have everybody here, or most folks here, and I'm glad to be here myself. And thankful and grateful for a new day, new opportunity. I might just do this like this. I don't want to, these pins in my vise are being a pain. I think some of it is about how straight my first cut into the wood is. That's why I set the speed square against it. Thank you, Schmoke. Schmoke said smash the like. Appreciate that. Definitely do that. Some people that are my good friends probably forgot. So thank you for that reminder. It's a good-hearted reminder to smash the like button. Smash. Looking up Yiddish words yesterday, it occurred to me that most Yiddish words that start with SCH are derogatory words. Schlemiel, schmuck, schlemazel, you know. Did not ever look up schlemazel until yesterday, though. Hey, Amelia, welcome. Amelia, I believe you were the one that Baby Kisses was talking about. Congratulations on your baby, if that was you. I would definitely put myself in the category of schlemazel. Schlong. I forgot about that one. That one's one of the ones that, like, even in English, it fits the word. You know, schmuck. What's the other one? Oh, what's the one that Heather was bringing up yesterday? It's now schmuck is a word about the Gentiles too, because it's the oh, I hate to gross everybody out. It's the gunk that forms under the foreskin of a Gentile, right? So if you're a Gentile, uncircumcised, that's what they're talking about. Here in the United States, Gentiles are circumcised, but in other countries, they're not. We can get into that conversation, but that involves a little schmutz, right? Well, schmutz just junk around, and then, what's the other one? Schmegma, right? Schmegma, schmutz. And what a fun language. My circular saw would have taken longer to cut through than that. That was straight too, babe. Well, pretty straight. Maybe off by, let's see what that is. I need a ruler really to see that. That's probably a 32nd, which is within tolerance, but we can take a look. If I have a ruler, which I don't have right here. Anyway, looks like maybe a 16th. Maybe a 16th. Y'all tell me from tiny bit. It's a little tiny bit off. Well, maybe a little more. Looks a little worse when you put it up there. Mimi Wunsch. Welcome. 30 seconds. There you go. Reduced to lowest terms. All right, now, I think with one single dovetail, I should be within tolerance. It should be fine. We'll figure it out. I lay them out on the other one anyway, so it's custom by the piece. And if you watch the video with Wes, you can see there's little gaps on there, like a little bitty gap. Like, who cares? The box worked. I didn't glue any of those dovetails, so. Oh, Amelia says, gotta go buy Schlitz, a beer that made Milwaukee famous. I used to have a Schlitz lamp in my room where the Schlitz was spinning around. Speaking of Milwaukee or Wisconsin, I think Baby Kisses is from that area, so shout out to that spot. Yeah, Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous. It used to be beer, now it's mostly malt liquor, right? All right, so let's do some layman's dovetails. What I did was come in, I think, if you label top and bottom, you can put the dovetail anywhere, right? Now how I did Wes's was, I think I came in, I really like to have 2 protractors for this. I do 75 on that. 75 sounds good. Now, generally, hold on. I need a phone to Google this. Somebody Google this for me. Is the short side supposed to be the pin or the tails? Schmoke said he got into the IPAs last night. Man, I can't drink beer anymore, not because I'm an alcoholic, but because I am celiac. I have celiac disease, so I can't consume anything made with wheat, barley, or rye. Saws and foreskin combo. 76.234. Yeah, so luckily for me, because I might go a little bit bananas with the now Indian Pale Ale, India Pale Ale, which is IPA, is something that kind of came up after I was diagnosed with celiac. My favorite beers were the wheat beers, there's another one, shout out to Wisconsin, Leinekugels. I love that stuff. Summer Chandy, which used to be cheap beer. I even like cheap beer. I like PBR and stuff like that. I went to Scotland one time and passed a wedding, and a bunch of guys were in kilts, and you'd expect them to be drinking some kind of local Scottish microbrew. These guys were all drinking Budweisers in their kilts. This was near Lockerbie in Scotland. All right, I do actually need a ruler for this, or I need my gauge here. probably put it over here. Gotta realize I don't have a mic. I gotta speak up better. What time is it? Yeah, I gotta go soon, guys. I gotta get to the lunch rush, man. It may be a shorter live stream today. I just don't want my members and folks to think that I'm abandoning you. I am not. I am here. I need to find my marking gauge, though. That's a kind of an important tool, especially for this. If I don't have a marking gauge and I don't have a ruler, I'm in trouble. And so I really need to call Pilato because it's his fault, as usual. I have lost things in my shop. He needs to stop doing that. Stop putting stuff on the floor, you know, in different areas of my shop where I'll trip over it. And some people have gremlins. You know, I have Pilato. No gremlins around here. Guys, I hate to tell you this, but oh, here I have measuring tape. Maybe that'll work for it. Not the ideal thing. I got exactly 3 inches, so if I come in from an inch on each side, should be fine. All right, but I do need to find something here to measure with. Kind of tricky. I probably located this before the live stream. I apologize for that. Ah, here we go. Found it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Found it. Set this thing to 1 inch. We're going to make a mark. We're going to do a long sides pin. I'm going to guess if somebody looked that up. Yeah, I know. You know what? Tell Pilato. I said, damn it, Pilato. Stop. Stop doing that, man. Long side pin, short side is tail. So we call the part that's the male side the pin, and the female side is the tail. And we're gonna do the tails at, we'll tip it down so y'all can see it a little bit. Love this vise for this part. Hey. Hey everybody. All right. See this? We're gonna, look, I'll take that out just to be, just due diligence. We're gonna do this here. I'm gonna make a line here, but I'm not gonna use this line as my cut line. This is just, that's 2 inches, right? Now, if I was just doing a box joint, that would be that. But you see, I'm doing 75 degrees. I wanna make sure my protractor is really tight on 75 here. But it's tricky with one protractor because you gotta keep resetting it over and over again. And it might be slightly different. So you end up with another variable, right? Now you can do this with a knife too. A marking knife is ideal for this. But if you don't have a marking knife and you don't have the eyes to see a marking knife, which I think are another requirement, a pencil mark certainly doesn't hurt. 75 degrees, that's the dovetail, right? And that's what makes the joint strong. Now, also, we're gonna make our shoulder down the width, which is also 1 inch, right? So we need to have the shoulder labeled too, ideally here. I'm gonna make a real light mark for the shoulder so I know what depth to go to. And I can keep my marking gauge at 1 inch here because that's where the mouth of this joint is gonna be right there. Now when I get over to the other side, I have to use basically a different tool, right? Let me see, make sure. Nope, I can use this again. I'm just gonna follow those marks. Hopefully you can see that, what's going on there. Value right here, man. Only 17 people getting this value. The other people watching, people with beanie helicopter hats on and religious fanatics. That's what the world wants, I guess. I am a biplane. I am a biplane. I am a biplane. That's what the guy said. 1,000 concurrent viewers. 1,000 concurrent viewers on his channel. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Which side of a dovetail? Which side of should the long structural members be pins or tails in dovetail? I always forget, and I've made a bunch of these, and I should know better, but I don't have my other phone, so I can't Google it. Due diligence would have us make another line here for the shoulder, right? But every line I make has to be erased. Essentially, that's not going to be. That's a little lower than that other side. All right, so this is a rip cut right here. So we're gonna use the rip side of the saw, right? Now I like to make several cuts through here. So first one, I'm gonna make inside. So with the tails, we want the tails to be inside of the lines, right? And the pins, we're gonna cut outside the lines. The most important thing I say all day, we're gonna cut inside, zooming in. Most important thing I say all day, here's where the value is. When you're making dovetails, you are going to cut inside this line, inside the line on the tail side, right? This is a little tricky for me to cut. I'm gonna move this back a little bit so I can cut better. Now, when we cut the pins, we're gonna cut outside the pins so that the pins are slightly oversized. Then we can adjust them down if necessary, right? I missed the mark on that. Let's try that again. All right, that's about right. There we go, inside my line. And then over here, we're gonna do the same thing. That's way inside the line, but I still can pare away that waist. I'm gonna make some cuts in the middle here. This is where I almost cut my finger off before doing this stuff. So I get a little impatient with it sometimes. These cuts don't need to be straight. Even those don't need to be straight that much. As long as you got a good chisel hand. I'm gonna make one more right here. I gotta get a new one of these saws. All the more reason I gotta go to work, guys. Like, this ain't going to work anymore. All right, let's tilt this thing down. I think I got sharp enough chisels. I probably should sharpen them, but I don't have the time to do that today. I got to get going here in a minute. I want to say I appreciate all of you all. Please stick around. I'm going to continue to live stream daily. It's just going to have to be, I'm going to have to also work. That's just a reality. Just bear with me. Got to pay bills and stuff. This is not what it is, Ash, though. Google AI says, what? This one on, it's a little wonky. So all those cuts are going to help me remove these pieces and this waste, this chisel. This should be sinking in like hot knife through butter. It's not. See if my mortise chisel, which is very reliable here, generally, that's much better. This is a stop cut here, so carvers know what that is, right? Let's see. The choice depends on the joint's location and appearance, but for structural strength, the sides taking the most pressure or force should have the pins, while the tails go on the top and bottom. I didn't know there was a top and bottom in this application. But thank you for the research. That's exactly what I needed. I think this should be getting even stress, so it probably doesn't matter here. I gotta be careful. This chisel is very sharp, like a mortise chisel, sharp on these square edges too. And I grab them like a regular chisel sometimes. Bring this down a bit. I really got to get going. I want to show you all this whole joint cutting process, but I don't think it's worth it for me at the moment, especially with the numbers I got in here. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'll come back. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do more dovetail cutting. I don't have time to do it today. It's not worth it to sit in here with a lot of people and do it. Sorry, guys. I got to make the money. And we'll do the pins tomorrow, too. Love y'all. Appreciate you being here. I will be back tomorrow. Become a member. Join. We'll continue to provide content. Thank you for being here so much. I'm not going to be a complainer anymore. That's what I used to do, and we're going to stop doing that. But I do got to go make some money. Thank you all for the likes. Thank you for the time, and I'll be back tomorrow. Become a member. Join the fam.